Hello. This is Rochelle again. I know sometimes Joe like inspiration stories since I heard everything about Joe with her massive huge, highly successes in every single video that she does, where she lights all of these inspiration, success stories that I know she always likes. And I think I got another one of my success stories actually. This is going into my success story from, I would say, Trish Louse's Accessory Part 2. And this is all about meeting Joe for my first time. I think I feel that I got something like a good connection to all of these kind of stories to inspire to people to aspire them more. And when I inspire people or highly successes or high achieve, this is something what Joe always looking out for. And seeing her and meeting her at the first time and knowing her for the first time, that I can't believe in my life I have done this for my actual first time that it's been expected, and as it gave me a shock and a really good surprise, but with the major outcome of it, I just can't believe it so much and how I came this far. And every single video I do of every single success stories, that this is something that Joe is looking out for, something that Joe is looking for. And so many people of different organizations that Joe has visited. And it's so damn nice how people feeling and embrace and just are so amazing things when you're having this incredible feeling. And I think I'm one of those people who had a credible feeling that I can't believe this has happened to me. And it's just an inspiration of how Joe is. So from my success story is all about Joe herself and how she is a really good representative in the way that aren't very good being representing so much in a whole schedule. When she met me the first time in Denau, when I was working things, she met me the first time when she knows that I am working there under the Down syndrome situation. And I don't know how Joe knows about the Down syndrome much, but in most of her videos, she has seen lots of people with disabilities with different syndromes and how it understands them. But when I was in that category, the way that she understands and how she communicates effectively with disabilities like myself and so many disabilities out there, it's been quite a challenge and quite inspirational on how she's does this, that the way that she has been so good. Being a parliament of a house are the things that she is so that good of. She is absolutely brilliant. And I've gone how I describe it. And I always have this incredible feeling how I came this far and how she came this far all the way round. You know, it's one of those things that I'm supposed to address with so many things happening and things maybe are coming. With this inspiration video, I'm not sure when you want to see me next. I don't know how many success stories that she wants me to do, and I don't know when she's going to see me next, or when do I need to have private meetings, or I don't know if I should have private meetings, and I don't know when it's available, because with all this stories and inspiration that she's looking for, it feels like that I'm so more useful, and it feels like that there's a connection in a way what she's out there looking for, and having the first inspiration disability person like myself, it's nice to share that experience in the way that it's nice to knowing my disability and knowing what my needs are and the levels and knowing about all the levels and everything about my needs and everything in my disability. I don't know how she does it, but it's been so that's amazing. I always have this incredible feeling to say, oh, I don't know how I can make always successful stories. I don't know how to be useful. And so many things that might be happening. You know, I always imagine if Joe would kidnap me, or what if Joe take me to London with her as assistant. I know it's not possible. I know that's not. But we've already success stories, and I always had this credible feeling and having just a total experience with all these stories. I don't know how many of them, but the more you watch them, I'm not sure how I'm just going to do it. But it's always in my imagination of how just watching this video and saying, oh, this person is so that good at it, I really need you as my assistant. And what if I ask that person to come back with her to London to continue being assistant and carry on doing these sort of things? You know, that is always in my imagination, but I know that's not possible. I've got a great big life ahead of me with so many things. And if I did go to London, if I did, I would like to see the Prime Minister. I want to know what's happening to the world. Since now Boris has finished being a Prime Minister, I don't know what's going on anymore. And I don't know what exactly is going to happen. Because this has been for a while. And I'm kind of like being sort of Boris. I've been watching so many videos and he's really offering, really aspiring. And all of my family says that I am too much of Boris. And knowing what the rules and obligations are and everything else with COVID and things like that. But he has never mentioned about resigning and stop being a Prime Minister. He hasn't said anything about that. And that's one thing I have heard. And he hasn't told me himself. I got in touch with him. I've been sending him emails after emails after emails. And I haven't got a response. And this is why I don't know what's going on around the world. So sometimes I'm trying hard not to be Boris too much. But, you know, it's a national thing really. But the person who is a new Prime Minister, what he's going to do, is he going to do exactly the same way? When I watched the video of Parliament with so many things between Boris himself to the new Prime Minister, who is doing lot of arguments after arguments after arguments. Lot of disagreeing, but lot of arguments in between. And I just don't know what's going on in between both of them. But the only question here now, if that new president becomes the Prime Minister, what he's going to do about it? What he's going to do about it? Is everything going to be back to normal? How long are we having this COVID for? How long are we don't have COVID and things are back to normal? I don't know. And if that person is the new Prime Minister, those are the questions I like to tell him, because sometimes I just want to know what's going on with the world. So, all of these questions entitled, that is another end of the success story, I suppose. But meeting of the House of Parliament are the first time. I just can't believe it. It's been a incredible feeling. And I thought if the House of Parliament came to see me working in the now and how I'm finding it and how my job is and everything, if I asked these sort of things to her, kindly actually pin them to the board? Or is that something that what I say can be heard? And things like that. So, that is my Parliament's just a story of the Parliament's side. Since now I have that connection with Joe and everything else that is put in with the other end of the success story, what I just said before, I think is so inspirational on how to do things. Because in the success story that I just mentioned, that since I mentioned about the Parliament, I think the Parliament can be very, very strict. And sometimes I just need to stick with the protocols, which I do. Coming to the other hand, visiting a Parliament when someone's coming out of the Parliament to see me, it's nice in a really good way. And I always have this incredible feeling. And it's going what I just said about these success stories. I don't know how many these stories that he wants me to do because it would be nice, but I can tell it is not good enough for me to go to London, and I know it's not possible. I know it's my I know it is in my imagination world, but since I'm in the world of reality, and I am a reality person, and since I'm already in reality, I know the reason that it's not going to happen, because I know it isn't. So, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm 31, and sometimes I just need to live in Barry sometimes. And I just need to carry on with my life the way my life is, I suppose, really. But from the Down syndrome situation, Alison might be involved. I thought this is a good way to represent. There's lots of different ways, but from the Parliament and Joe, I want to be representative. Represents. I have so many skills and qualities, but that is my success story at the moment. And I hope this will help Joe if he wants me to carry on doing these. So it's really up to her. The only thing I would say at the moment with the now success story has been approved quite a lot these days, where they were putting me on trials. They gave me a contract of all the things and I'm so good. They had a meeting and watched different videos of me, how I'm doing things. And now they're keeping me on, and now they're moving me to our minimum contracts, where now, not just being on a normal contract, but now this contract they put me on, minimum, that means they're keeping me on. And as they're keeping me on, they want me to carry on working there, because their aim is to get to know me as more, but knowing what I'm good at and things like that. They know that my mental health is coming down and that I need to be coming as mates and working on effectively. But they know me so that, wow, they want to continue with the same process. They want to get knowing me well and they want to get knowing me. This is why they're keeping me on, because now they know what I'm good at and with so many things. That's why they got me and moved me to a permanent contract where now they said I can work on months and ends with every single year. Like, we are now 2013, so with all these years coming through, like 2014 and 2014, 2015, 2016, and so on and so on and so on, with so many years. I will continue working there as permanent. So from many months, with so many months and so many years ahead, they're keeping me on with all those years and months. Where they're keeping me on at the moment. So for me working there every single year of every single month is amazing for me. And everyone is so friendly, supportive, things like that. And it's really, really nice in a sort of way, with so many counts of parcels, since they already see me what I got at. So that's my now success story, since now there are lots of changes around and they always give me lots of awards and they always give me lots of meal vouchers and everything else. I think it's really, really nice of them to do that sort of thing. So it's nice to have one success story into another of 3 equal parts, from Denham, my disability, the Parliament, Joe. That's all I mention in a great big one success story like this. And I think this is for something that is so looking out for. And I know she is Becky. From getting in touch with so many details coming through, it's nice of Becky knowing me all that while with my parents when I was a child to a teenager and now this of an adult. I have a credible experience with Becky and how much I got this far. And it's been absolutely incredible. So I think I will keep this video up to here so it won't keep you boring too much, because I never want to bore people or bothering, which I never want to do. But how many stories watched and heard, it all depends on day now. So if I didn't or didn't go to London, doesn't matter. I got a really good life, but it depends on Joe, really. If the answer is no, it's no. It's absolutely fine. I got amazing life at the moment, what's really happening to me, with so many things in my hobbies of mine and things like that. So I think all throughout, that is my big one live success story. And I hope Joe